Hello, Victor Wolf here. We're going to do another book review. Now we have Notice by Heather Lewis. This book has been characterized as one of the most disturbing books ever, especially by booktubers like Criminale. I know all of you have seen Criminale, but I wholeheartedly disagree. Not because I have been desensitized by the many hundreds of compelling books in my 3 decades of reading, but because it didn't come across as good writing, even if the author was trying to tell the story in the point of view of the main character. The best description of the genre of this book is dark romance for lesbians. If that is your niche, then you may love this book, despite its literary shortcomings. Alright, the synopsis. A young woman named Nina, who's into drugs, bad decisions, etc., prostitutes herself to make extra money, even though she does have a job as a waitress. She goes home with a man and is subjected to sex with him, and sometimes with his wife, who doesn't necessarily want to participate. She ends up staying with him and develops a friendship/sexual affinity with the wife, whose name is Ingrid. I would say Nina is more of a lesbian than a bisexual, because she has been abused by men and is off-put by them, which is understandable. Criminale claims there is a rawness to the writing. What he's probably unwilling to say is that the writing is kind of unintentionally juvenile. The author, Heather Lewis, just wasn't old enough to articulate philosophically just what she was going through in her real life and what it meant in the whole scheme of things. And back to the story. Nina gets arrested and is forced to have sex with the arresting officer, just like in any porn scenario most males have seen 1,000 times. Nina gets referred to a counselor named Beth, and guess what? She gets involved sexually with her as well. Gee, didn't see that coming. So for the rest of the book, Nina is wrestling with who she wants to lesbianize with, Ingrid or Beth. She has sex with both of them, but not at the same time. Okay, so when does the disturbing part come in? I haven't even mentioned that there really is no plot, no direction, and is almost boring to read. Not sure what or where the hype is on this. Until we get to chapter 28. Chapter 28 is freaking awesome. A 10 out of 10. Now, if there were more chapters like this interspersed throughout the book, then it would definitely have raised the rating to an 8 or 9. As it stands, I can't give it more than a 6, and that's probably being generous. Well, that's Notice. Now you know what to expect. Now you know that it isn't as disturbing as some say. In one sentence, it is about a girl who sells sex for extra money, but is emotionally torn on which woman she wants to be with. Nothing too horrific about that. Victor Wolf, out.